1.
And hello everyone, it's Bismarck from WoTV-Calc, and I'm here with Diggs, video creators from WoTV. Hello Diggs, how are you?
You almost said Brave Exvius.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. This is the first time I've ever been interviewed by somebody, and so I was really excited when you suggested doing a flip interview, because I've never had that happen before. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I was, it was cool in my mind, I think, because you were the first one to interview me for WoTV. So I say, okay, for our interview anniversary, maybe we can do a switch interview. So
I've got so
it's pretty cool you accept it.
I've got so many dates in April now. I've got WoTV anniversary, I've got my wedding anniversary, and now I've got my interview assery.
That's cool.
But yeah,
you will have every year a busy April month.
Yeah. So what type of questions you got for me, Bismarck?
I got some question maybe to know you better. I already know you since we work together since a year together, but
yeah,
I think some question to know you better, and some question, of course, about WoTV.
Sure,
because it's our mutual games. So let's start. I think we already talked maybe a little about it, but did you start playing with Brave Exvius?
Yeah, so I actually did start playing with Brave Exvius. I didn't make content for Brave Exvius, but I played and I did whale a little bit in Brave Exvius, and I think I made it to like rank 139 or something like that. And I made it to the end of season 2 is where I stopped playing.
Okay. So you play a long time.
Yeah, I was a very, I wouldn't say casual. I left and I came back to the game a lot, but it was my first exposure to macroing with emulators. I definitely watched a lot of Clake and Howls. So if you see similarities in my content to Clake and Howls, that's why, is because I'm largely inspired by them. And now the fact that I get to meet and talk to them just is incredible to me. Yeah. So that's kind of where I started.
And what was your favorite units in Brave Exvius?
Nicole. CG Nicole was my favorite unit. I did have a couple other units, but well, actually, hold on. No, that's not true. Well, okay. So I had two favorite units, CG Nicole and Zargaboth. I loved Zargaboth. He did so much for me. He was an incredible unit. He cleared so much content. It was incredible.
Yeah, clearly. What's the cool a global exclusive unit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
everyone cried because we didn't have Gabrons, but Zargaboth was really cool compensation. Nice. So I think you discover WoTV thanks to FFBE, but what attracts you to switch from an RPG game to a tactic games?
Yeah, so I have always loved Final Fantasy Tactics, and I actually was not the one that found WoTV. Actually, my husband was. And so we were lying in bed one day, and my husband was like, hey, there's a new Final Fantasy mobile game coming out. And I was like, what? And he showed me the trailer for it, and he showed me the gameplay. And I remember telling him, I'm not going to play that. Like, it doesn't look good. And I remember having the conversation with him about it. And when it came out, I started playing it a bit, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. And the next thing you know, I am playing it and making YouTube videos out of it and having a fun time. So
yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, it's interesting because I did like tactics-based games, but I didn't like the graphics of War of the Visions. in the advertisements, and I think that's what turned me off to it initially. Is it felt very PS1 era when I was looking at it, and I was like, nah. Like, I like my sprites from FFBE, so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I understand. That's one of the weird parts of World Division. We don't know if we are from a retro game or a new game, but we are in the middle, and sometimes it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Yeah, no, yeah, yep, I'm loving it now.
That's good. So why did you start making videos since you didn't make video from Brave Exodus? Why did you decide to do some for World Vision?
So it's kind of a long story, but I basically went on sabbatical with my original work. And so a lot of people that know me know that I was going back to college, and I'd already been accepted at a university for my second degree in zoology. I had an internship for a veterinary clinic that I was working at, where I actually got to go into the clinic and help with the surgeries, which was really cool, and observe the surgeries. And granted, it was just like spay and neuters. It was nothing serious, but it was still really fun, right? Like, it was definitely happening. And one of the kind of things that I wanted to do on my sabbatical while I was going back to school and not working is I wanted to play through every single Final Fantasy game. And I was streaming it because I wanted to record it. And I basically was like testing out uploading them to YouTube because I had flirted with the idea before. And I uploaded one video about War of the Visions because I actually got viewers when I played War of the Visions. And the video that I did for War of the Visions actually did really good. It was like 500 views. And that was like a huge amount for me. I was like, whoa, this is so cool. And it was an elemental chaining video. And that was right around the time that COVID hit. And basically, I lost my internship because of COVID. The universities and colleges shut down. And it just became like a hot mess, right? So I was pretty much at home. I asked Giant, we have 500 views on this video. And like this, it was a lot more dramatic. Like, I was crying, like upset, right? Because you can imagine, like, this was my dream. I had already been accepted into zoology. I had an internship that I just got kicked out of because of COVID, right? So I was just like, hey, like, give me 6 months. Let me try and be a YouTuber. And if it doesn't work, maybe COVID will be over by then. And I can go back to be, go back to school and work on my prereqs more. And it worked. So here I am. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so that it's finally a good story. It could have turned bad, but
yeah. It still can. there's still time for it to go bad, but I think the experience in itself is worth it. Just being here, getting to meet everybody, right? I think one of the most important things to me was I was able to financially support my mom a little bit, which was really important to me. And then we don't have a lot of money, but like we'll be going to go see family, which will be nice once COVID is over. So yeah, it's been good.
Nice. Cool. Okay, so let's switch to the game.
Sure.
Who is your favorite unit?
I mean, it's Sir O, obviously.
I think it's Beastmaster Zazan, no?
No, he's not. He does look like me, though. When I do my hair short, he does look like me. But no, that is... So there was a huge... Did you ever see the video, Bismarck, that someone did with me in it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a deep fake of me voting for Zazan. Ever since that video came out, and I knew it came out because I talked to him about it and we were like joking about it, people still think to this day Beastmaster Zazan is my fault, and it is not. I promise. It is not at all. But yeah, Beastmaster Zazan's cool. He's okay. Not as cool as Sir O.
Yeah. Okay. So let's continue with this theme. Who is the unit you use the most? So the one you put in almost every party.
So Ildira is probably the unit that I use the most. But right now I'm trying to get Sir O's 10,000 use achievement. So I've been using Sir O in every single party right now. Usually it's Ildira and Sir O right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I think it's hard not to use Ildira.
Yeah, why not? I think I almost never use her, but
I think a lot of people.
It's a really cool unit.
I think a lot of people like to use Leela. She has the
ability to heal, to attack, so.
A lot of people like to use Leela, but I don't like to use Leela because it crashes my game. So.
Yeah.
That's why I don't use Leela.
Too many effects.
Yeah, that's right.
She's crazy. I understand. One question, because I'm thinking about it often.
Sure.
What do you think of the difficulty of the game, actually?
I think the difficulty is a little too easy. But I also acknowledge that I am a person with all the characters in all the places, right? But when I think about like the difficulty of like Brave Exvius, for example, and they had content that was specifically designed towards players who had those units or could figure out unique compositions that work together. I think we don't have that brutal content. And if we do, it's very rare or far between. I do like some of the more recent brutal missions because you can kind of optimize them and design them to farm. Also, whenever they do because there's been 3 brutal quests, I believe, so far. And I know that brutal quests 4 and 5 from Japan are coming soon. But I feel like brutal quest 2, if you remember, that was the one with the high peak and the low bottom, and the ninjas did Shadowbind. I thought that was the best map in terms of map design that War of the Visions has ever had. It was extremely difficult. And I wish they would do more content like that, but give you the units to do it. Does that make sense? So like they have the map and you have like a preset units to use in it. And it's almost like a puzzle where you figure out where to move the units and stuff like that. I think that would be really fun. I think there's a lot of options. Like I think 3-star Espers actually being difficult has been kind of nice for me because I actually can't just go in and, oh yeah, I'm going to auto farm this, right? Like it's nice. And so I see some of the really good content coming out, and what I enjoy is that programming of auto AI, but I'm not seeing enough of the difficult content. And I'm really curious about select quests if they become more difficult because they're forcing you to use MR and below units. So they're forcing you to change your strategy a little bit. So I'm meeting with Umbra tomorrow. So it's definitely something we're going to talk about because I want to know, how those go.
Yeah, I think almost the same as you. I'm almost missing the trials of Brave Exvius.
Right.
Where I still remember when the global Marlboro came out. It was really a pain in the ass to find out to beat it. It was really awful, but it was really fun to try it with our poor little units.
Yep.
To be able to beat it, and I still didn't find some equivalent in War of the Visions. So I really hope maybe some days they will do some special quests available every time, so the people who start later can do it later, the trial of Brave Exvius.
I think that's what people love about
cool.
Tower, right?
Yeah.
Is because it's challenging too.
Yeah, clearly.
The one thing, and you probably know this, do you still play Brave Exvius?
Yes.
So
I still continue to play.
one of the reasons that I stopped playing Brave Exvius is because the trial bosses and a lot of the bosses came down to all of a sudden you're pulling up a spreadsheet of 100 turns of what the boss is going to do, and then you're basically planning out 100 turns, and it's less about your composition and buffing your units and stuff and chaining and kind of maybe making strategic decisions on your end. It's much more about, I'm going to program 100 turns for all of my characters, which kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, clearly. Right now in Braves, you can plan everything, and you can almost never lose a map if you are a little bit prepared. You just can lose.
Yeah. There's that flexibility feels like it's gone. That we had like in the earlier era of Brave Exvius. So that's kind of the one bummer that really stopped me from playing.
Yeah. Okay. I hope they will not do the same for War's Vision, but I think since it's tactics with multiple units, I think it should be better.
Yeah, I hope it's better, because I really hated the brutal difficulty 3 mission with the Cactar. Like, I just thought that was draining, annoying, like,
yeah. Got it. Okay, cool. So right now, what keeps you in the game? Why do you continue to play?
Well, as much as I tease the story, I do enjoy the story. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the grind. I've always been someone that enjoys playing a game in the background. So, you know, whether I'm watching Netflix and I have the game going, whether it's, you know, grinding something while I'm out driving, or, well, Giant would be driving, not me. I would not play the game while I'm driving. But it's that kind of, like, anything with horizontal gameplay really has me invested. That's why I was really invested in Final Fantasy XI. Like, it just interests me. It keeps me there. And I love being able to, you know, have a piece of gear that someone might not have or might not think about. Like Thancred's TMR, right? A lot of people have that, but a lot of people don't have that. For the light resistance and the defense when you're going against light compositions. It's enjoyable to me. It's enjoyable for the PvE challenges like Tower and stuff. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy using units in different ways. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely keeping my attention. And I think I also love the art style, which is, like, I initially hated the art style, but I've slowly fallen in love with the art style of, like, the vision cards. I love the art style of the characters. And I almost wish it was like a 2D game. Almost. Like, I almost wish they just took out the 3D sprites altogether and they just made it a 2D game. I would love that.
Yeah, that could be cool. Or maybe some options, like you click and you switch to 2D sprite, or
right,
something like
that.
Could be cool.
Even like a 3D model very similar to Final Fantasy Tactics, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the world, there's something about the world when you look at War of the Visions, and I don't know if it's a filter on the game or what it is, but it feels very washed out. Like, the whole game seems like it's washed out and not, like, sharp to me. And so I would like it to just be, like, a little bit more like that. Like Tactics, like crisp, colorful, right?
Yes.
Like, there are a lot of cool maps that we've seen once that we never see again. And I want to see those maps more.
Yeah. So there is a ton of maps.
Yeah, well,
so that's pretty crazy.
Even in the first chapter, they had things where, like, you stand on a switch and it chops a tree and it kills the opponents, right? And I want more stuff like that. Like, I want more stuff that's like the Iron Giant fight, where you have to send both units down the paths on the right and the left side. and then you go and fight the Iron Giant. Like that would be great. So
yeah, I understand. More interaction of the maps and not just enemies.
Right.
We rush.
No.
We destroy, and that's all. Yeah, clearly. Could be cool. Nice. So that was for the PvE part. How do you approach the PvP aspect of the game?
I hate PvP. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not a huge fan of PvP. I like Arena a little bit. I like class match. I have an appreciation for class match and free match now that I have the ability to auto it. But even then, we're seeing that being disrupted by like quicken compositions and CT manipulation compositions, which I just did a video on. And so like constantly being having to be prepared on like the same map, right? Or the same 5 maps that it could be, is kind of frustrating, I would say, for me. Like I enjoy class match in that there's like restrictions and it feels like a challenge, or it feels like you could use different compositions to be successful. Whereas free match, it doesn't feel like it. Arena, it doesn't feel like it. And I wish there was more complexity to PvP to keep me interested in it more. I'm definitely like I love when you have like a PvP match with restrictions that goes on and you can like watch it and get excited for it. But I think most PvP matches will end in like a single hit or a single attack or, you know, one miss or one dodge, and that's it. And I feel like that's not close enough to be considered like good PvP, right? I think about what's it called? Gosh, it's another mobile game. Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem mobile game.
Yeah.
Where they have PvP on a much larger scale, and they have multiple units on the field as to opposed to just 3. So I would like to see a PvP with more units on the field, unique fields. And I know JP is going to have unique fields in the near future, but even just like not being able to have like 5-unit PvP baffles me a little bit. I would love that, personally. I think that would add so much more complexity to it. Being able to like either defend or attack, right? If you're in guild battles, like that would be really cool. You could even have like different fortresses. So like, I don't know. There's just so many things you could do where like if your guild is defending, right? Like maybe you can choose your guild bonus for your units. So like maybe all your units, you know, start on a wall, or maybe depending on how the guild defenses are set up, you know, they have missile attack up or something. Like there's so many things you could do that would be fun and interesting. I don't know. I feel like it's something they don't think about, something they don't work on, and it could have been a lot better if they'd put more work into it.
That's some cool ideas. For the guild.
Well, I mean, it would be really easy to implement, right? Like just throw it into the guild rewards and, you know, change your guild buff to whatever it is, and you get it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
not a bad idea. Maybe we should talk about that to Justin.
Justin has no power. That's what I have learned, is he has no power.
Fortunately for us.
Yeah, he has. Everybody's like, "Oh, go tell Justin." He's not going to do anything. Like he can't. I wish he did.
Yes, that could be cool. So I know you don't play the GP version of the game, but you continue to follow what's happened on it.
Yep.
What is the next feature you expect from the GP side?
Oh, the next feature?
Yes.
Gosh. I mean, Vision Card Quality of Life hasn't come out yet, has it? Where you can farm the Vision Card shards?
You can farm in Art Quest. Not in the barrack.
Okay. I think what I'm most excited for is probably the select missions. That's probably what I'm most excited for coming out. in terms of quality of life, I haven't done a quality of life video in a while. So I don't know like what quality of lives are coming, because usually I just go out and I research it. And I talk to a bunch of JP players and I'm like, hey, what do you like? Or I go to WoTV.info or WoTV-info because it has all the JP news and the updates to it. There's some AI updates that are coming that I think were interesting, that I was reading over the other day. So I would say maybe updated AI would be something I would be interested in seeing. But yeah, I think the select missions are kind of what I'm waiting for the most. And I think we already have a lot of quality of life that Japan doesn't have. And so I have a feeling we're going to continue to see spring tokens and summer tokens and tokens galore, especially as we're approaching these 2-cost units for both Black Rose Helena and King Mont. The one thing I would really want, though, is more flowers, more rainbow blossoms. Like, we are bottlenecked so hard on those.
Don't worry. You will have them.
Oh, I hope so.
It was the same in the beginning of the anniversary in Japan, and now we have a ton of them.
Yeah, like it's like I'm like, where are they? Like,
yeah, yeah. But don't worry, they will come at every event.
Yeah,
you will have some.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So to continue to the feature, imagine. You have the power to decide the next main feature of the game. What you will invent?
It would probably be more complicated PvP. Just like we had talked about. Like I think I would want to make it more interesting. I would want to sell it. So if I was in charge of game development, right? Like you have all of these content creators who are focused on live PvP, right? You have like Prodigy, Daniel Boone, Lock D. You have a whole podcast dedicated to it. You have other people who are invested in it. But the population is still low. And what that's telling me, right? Because Oron J is running tournaments every week, and that's great. And that's definitely, building hype and getting it stoked. But there's still a large portion of the community that doesn't participate in that, right? And whether that's because it's a timing thing, whether it's because they don't like PvP, PvP is just not accessible, I don't think. It's not accessible and it's not fun, unless you're someone who has like a meta composition or a composition that works or a plan. And so finding a way to make it fun, finding a way to make it viable, finding a way to make it involved. Like I thought the specialty match battles were really good for guild battles, where we had the restricted cost guild battles. And then like, even if you had a newer player, they could choose to support another player to either attack again or to buff their abilities. I thought that type of thing was great. So I just wish I would see them do more, because I feel like it needs, like, it's popular. PvP is popular. But it's not like, if you would want the game to be extremely successful in the PvP sphere, it's not at the level, and the content creators are not, or not the content creators, the developers are not giving it the investment that it needs to survive, which is what they should be doing, right? Is they should be investing in it. They should be being like, hey, we're going to go PvP hard. And they're trying to do that on JP, from my understanding, because they're like hosting tournaments and stuff. But even then, like, it has less to do with hosting tournaments and much more to do with actual like variety of the gameplay and evolving the game to just be a better platform for PvP. And I have a feeling that the reason PvP is the way it is right now is because they tried to copy MOBAs, is what I feel like. I absolutely think that they're trying to copy MOBAs with like arena and guild battles, and they need to move away from that and go kind of back into what Final Fantasy is, because the players are Final Fantasy players. They're not necessarily MOBA players. And I think that's alienating a large amount of the population from it.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I also hope they will do something. I was thinking, yes, they release what they call the draft PvP in the Japan side. So, okay, it's another edition, but I was thinking of this draft version but where they give you some units, maybe not top level, because 2 units at 120, it's almost 100 of the time one shot the other, so it's not interesting. But maybe capped to level 80, something like that, and you can choose and you can have every units available. So it could be cool to have something which
and then you could have
every players on equal page.
You could have pick ban too with that. That would be really easy.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, I hope they will improve that later.
Me too.
Okay, we don't talk about the collab or everything like that, but if you have the power to decide the next collaboration, other than Final Fantasy VII, we know it's coming. So what would be the game you choose?
Final Fantasy XI, hands down, or Final Fantasy 12, just because I love 12. But I would kind of want Balthier from the Tactics version of the game. So it would have to be like a 12 collaboration with like Tactics, maybe War of the Lions collaboration. But for 11, I would love to see characters that I love. But that's not necessarily the characters that 11 is known for, right? Because 11 is, whenever you say Final Fantasy 11, it's always Shentoto, right? Like that's the only it's the only character except for like Shadow Lord.
No, from 11.
But I would love to see like Volker, who I think was a really cool character. I would love to see, gosh, there's some cool ones out there that would be like a cooler version of like Sid or Lion, potentially. Like Celtus potentially as well would be really cool from COP. I think Celtus is in Brave Exvius, isn't he?
No, I don't think so. No,
they have Prish. They took Prish and Olmia, didn't they? But Celtus I think would be awesome. So
could be good.
Yeah, just something to kind of hark back to it.
Yes.
So
maybe I think that's one of the possibility. 11s don't seem too far to the universe of Brave Exvius, so
I think it'll never happen. It'll never happen. But thank you.
We don't know.
I mean, they canceled the new 11 mobile game. So I could I could see it just because they probably have assets from the 11 mobile game still around.
Yes.
So they could probably easily use those assets in War of the Visions. So I could see it that way. I could actually see it coming. I'll tell you what I don't want is I don't want a Tomb Raider collaboration.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally forget this collaboration. Because we don't speak about it since the announcement. But we will have Lara Croft.
I mean, I think the Explorer units from Brave Exvius were really cool. So it would be cool if we got Explorer units in War of the Visions. Not excited for Lara Croft, though. So it would have to come with like limited time Explorer units, I think.
Okay, cool.
I know Oran J needs his Explorer Eileen.
Yeah. Yes. She was awesome in Brave Exvius. So
Yep.
I think every player of Brave Exvius who was there at that time are hoping to have her in War of the Vision.
Yep.
Of course. Okay, so to finish, you do some live at every 6 months now. So who are really cool with ton of cool people and some animation. Do you have another ideas? Because I think you will continue to do one live anniversary every 6 months.
Yeah. So
but do you have another idea for the community?
Well, we had talked about doing a tournament previously, like an Olympic style tournament think that would be really fun. If I did a tournament, I would want it to be like one big tournament. I wouldn't want it to be like, I would want it to be an actual event, right? I wouldn't want it to be like a spur of the moment, or like, those are a lot of fun, but I would want it to be like every match is professionally casted by different content creators. I would like to have interviews with the players beforehand, talking about their compositions and stuff. So lots of things I would like to do with that. Other than that, I don't have any big plans for any events coming up. I think if there's a fan fest at all, once COVID is done, we'll probably, like, that's probably going to be the next new big thing that we would do. And I don't know what we would do. It would probably be, gosh, I don't know. I don't know what we would do. We would probably have to like rent a space. And I have a feeling they would combine FFBE and War of the Visions, right? Because they're trying to go Brave Exvius universe now. So I could see that happening. I could see it being pretty fun, but I could also see it being like crazy. So I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. I know there's a lot of people in Washington who have talked about meeting up and doing stuff together. And I don't really like want to do like small scale like that, because my biggest fear would be like someone would fly in and I'm like, no, like, right. So I feel like the next frontier is either going to be like a casted professional tournament for me, is what I would like to do, or potentially something in real life. It would be cool to cast a tournament in real life with, like, I know it's hard to think about, but with COVID vaccines being the way they are now, you know, I think we could see a potential real life tournament. So that would be what I would want to do. Probably, yeah, I think, we'll leave it at that. That's enough.
Yeah, but I would really love to see some live event about Roswell and Brave Exvius also, because it's 2 years since the last physical event on one or the other game. So
who
I
knows?
hope they will come back soon.
1 year from now, we could be doing our interview face to face.
Yeah, that's right.
I could be in France or you could be in the USA, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Oh.
So that's what's all for me. Thank you, Diggs. It was really, really fun, like always.
Yeah, we had a fun morning together, didn't we?
Yeah.
I guess we should say goodbye, shouldn't we?
Yeah, maybe. It's cool to be together. So
yeah, thank you everyone for watching. If you're still here, I feel like everybody should be gone by now, or like they're listening to us when they're going to bed and they fall asleep.
That's it. That would be a good video.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so thank you everyone, and see you next time. Bye bye.
See you later.